It's a blessing to me that we should meet. I want to thank each in a seat and anybody on their feet. See, we didn't think we'd be doing this back in 2003, but look around. Here we are on live stream Podbean. We're hitting it off like 80s melodies from Aretha and Tina T. We're talking RESPECT, stuff that allows you to listen and for me to speak. When we seek, we find the pod poet that's inside. However, we should remember a poem doesn't have to rhyme. It can be a full page or just a few chat lines. You can be grown or a child. You or I may have the words the divine uses to save lives. But however you spend your time right now, we are live. Welcome to the Pod Poets Lounge, spoken word and poetry trivia game show. I am Naquel, your fellow poet. Today is June 5th, Saturday, and it's going to be a dope night. Trust me, we are in the place where we have fun celebrating poets. We have some Pod Poets trivia for you tonight. Some very exciting and fun categories as usual. The stuff folder is back. You don't know what to expect coming out of there. You just know it's going to be some kind of stuff. Of course, we've got some word power sound for your ear. Some eargasm. I heard that word not too long ago. Eargasm. I guess that's what it might be. But we have some of that for you from these amazing souls, dope creatives. And of course, we're going to get to meet them, learn about their projects, see what they've got going on, and talk a little bit about them. So looking forward to that. I want to thank everybody who supports this podcast. I appreciate it so very much. I'm excited about tonight because, and you should be too. Of course you should be too, because these two gentlemen, the masked poet, Kerry Kinlaw, is with us tonight alongside our brother from South Africa, CB NoGhost, is in the lounge. And we'll get to meet them shortly. I'm going to share their information here so you can check them out on Instagram at CB_NoGhost. And then Kerry is at _the masked poet. Yes, go ahead and check them out, follow, see what's going on. You're gonna learn a little bit about what's going on tonight, obviously, but you can get a head start by doing that. Go and follow them right now. If you missed the last show, here is a quick clip, actually, from episode number 31. We had the pleasure of hosting Taye Uhuru, author, here in the building. He's also a hip-hop artist and historian. He came alongside the owner and founder of Trey's Golden Confections Treasure Board. So here is a brief moment from episode 31. Pull that clip up. It's always such a real humbling, pleasure, an honor when you get to have these conversations, speak with these creatives, and build with them. And this platform is all about the celebration of these artists. So that's kind of what we do here, and love doing just that. Get out. Okay, here we go. Yes, clip from my episode number 31. Check it out.
Definitely. I mean, the things that people told me about his poetry, because they didn't record a lot of stuff back then, but the information that they was giving to me, like he was very militant, he was very strong, he was very pro-black in his poetry, and I try to put a lot of that into my raps and put that into my music, so you in my heart. This for the lost martyrs, the Omar Majeeds and Bunchy Carters, and all the comrades who locked away on false charges, and all the soldiers that fought regardless, and all of those who died in the freedom rides and long marches.
They're mostly empty space.
That's an easy one.
B.
B.
B is correct. Yes, you got it.
So I think it's why I ask myself, whatever happened to really good sex? The kind where your souls match and you don't question their truths or their lies. You just know they treat you really, really good. See, I don't break through rib cages anymore. That became a very tedious chore because I put their pleasure before my own. They labeled me whore.
Yes, indeed. a very, very nice vibe. I'm so thankful they were able to chill with me, share some of their time, some of their Saturday. Really appreciate those two. And there will be more content coming out from the episode number 31. Just look out for it on Instagram. So yeah, if you missed that episode, you can catch it where you get your podcasts. We're all over the place and very fortunate and thankful for that. If you did join us on that last episode, I'm glad that you did. If you're back tonight, we appreciate that as well. Glad to have you back for the vibe. If this is your first time listening, as always, peace. Big up yourself. We appreciate it. Appreciate the company. As always, call in if you have questions for our guests. If you have questions for the show, you're interested in being booked for the show as a guest, you can email thepodpoetslounge@gmail.com and I'll follow up with you. But I think it's time. Like I'm super excited to talk with and build with these two brothers. So I want you to give these gentlemen a very warm welcome to the Pod Poets Lounge tonight. Once again, with us is Kerry Kinlaw, the masked poet, and NoGhost vibing with us. How you gentlemen doing tonight? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, and I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I can hear you, man. I'm also excited to be here, man.
I'm excited to have you guys, man. I think we're going to have a good time. The game plan is usually very simple. I just want us to chill, relax, and vibe. How does that sound?
That sounds good to me.
That also sounds good to me, man.
All right, that's what's up. I love bringing artists together, just like you two this evening. You're all the way in South Africa. You're across the Atlantic, a whole nother landmass. But here we are, sharing this space. It feels good, man. How you guys doing? What's up?
I'm doing well. I just poured me a little glass of wine so I can relax and chill. I'm just excited to look for. I'm excited for the show.
That's what's up. Yeah.
Yo, that's what I've been doing also the whole day. I was having wine and then now I'm having coffee. So I don't know what type of combination I'm on right now.
It's a journey. It's a journey that got you right up to this point right here, man. So everything is just happening the way that it's supposed to. That's one thing I always try to keep in mind. You know what I'm saying? We could be anywhere in the world right now, anywhere in time and in history, but we're right here sharing this time and space together. So I love that. And I want to actually, start our conversation off with NoGhost. You are an amazing hip hop artist, brother. Doing your thing. You're also a songwriter. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're also a producer. Is that right?
Yeah, that's just true. I'm also a producer.
Okay. So straight off, man, thank you so much for coming on the program. We talked a little bit about how you're doing right now, and you sound like you're a good vibe, man. You're a good vibe, good. You know what I mean? Energy, It comes off. So I love that. Do me a favor and introduce yourself to my listeners. We're gonna go into some things, but just a brief introduction to the listeners, and tell us where you're from.
Okay, this is first of all, I'd like to send a shout out to everybody that's listening right now and everybody that took their time to not sleep by my side and your side just to tune in to us. And shout out to the homie that I'm with in the interview too. Actually, I would like to work with him. I hope he hears me.
I hear you. I'm listening.
Actually, that's a CB NoGhost. My real name is Cebo Mbata. I'm from Eshowe in KZN. That we call it KwaZulu-Natal. But if you want to make white people understand, we say Durban.
Okay.
So I'm from Durban. So I'm from South Africa. That's all in all. I'm a musician, songwriter, a rapper. I'm also a producer, and just a person who love art. Just summarize everything. I love art. I'm an artist. Yeah,
that's what's up. Okay. I think the word nowadays, and I don't know, the word creative. I'm hearing it more and more like within the past few years. to describe people that embody like a lot of different types of art and how they express their creations.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask. So, where you are from, that province, that's on the east in South Africa. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. That's on the east.
Okay. Okay. I like to, in my mind, create some placement or location for, the guest, or even if I'm reading an article and it mentions a country, I might not be as familiar with the country. I try to have a geographical reference for it. So you're on the East Coast. It's a coastal province, right?
Yeah, it's the East Coast. It's the East Coast of our province. Yes.
Okay. I wanted to. We're going to talk about your music. You have a song that we'll get to listen to later on called Abampanzi.
Abampanzi. Yeah, you actually got it right for the first time.
Pronounce it okay.
You pronounce it okay. Abampanzi. Yeah, that's.
I think earlier I was saying
ancestors. No, Abampanzi.
Yeah, I was pronouncing it wrong earlier.
Yeah, you. No, it said Abampanzi. Nah, I heard you. I thought you said it right though.
Oh, you did? Okay. I was mispronouncing it. But I looked it up and I saw that I had the spelling wrong. So of course, if you have the spelling wrong, you're not going to pronounce it right. So it means ancestors. And why did you? What does that mean to you?
That this song actually, it's not out yet. It's a song that's still working on it. It still need to be proper mastered and do the like all sorts of things on it. So it's a song where I thought, you know what, I've been in the games for so long.
Okay.
And I haven't blown up. You understand? So I mean, I have that. That I have that local blow up. Yes, but I need that national and the global.
Right.
Yes. So at the moment, I was thinking, no, man, I've been doing what I was doing up until this time. So now, what's holding me? In our language, we have the thing of saying, if some of the things are not going well in your life, you need to go to, you need to go back home.
Okay.
You need to go and burn impepo. I don't know about, I don't know the English word, but I know we have impepo. Impepo, that's what we burn when we talk to our ancestors. When we asking some things that we need them, it's either to guide us or for them to open the gate for us. So the whole song, it's about that. So the whole song about Pansy, it's about me thinking, you know what, I've been doing this here for so long, and I haven't reached what the height that I want to reach, and then what's holding me. Maybe I should go back home and bend in Bepo and talk to my ancestors and ask them where is it lacking, and what should I do for me to actually be in the level that I want to be. So I'm actually asking for guidance from them. Yeah.
And okay. So do you think that you're doing that in the form of this song?
Sorry?
Do you think that you're reaching out to them through this song?
Yeah, I think I do reach out to them through the song because it's something that I normally don't talk about, or something that I don't mention to most of my interviews or to most of the things that I do. I lost my parents when I was young, so I wasn't raised by them, and since I was raised by other people. I was raised by other people's culture. I was exposed to other people's living. and culture, and I combine my culture with their culture, and then so I'm just a mixture of person that is just out there and is trying to make it. So in some way, somehow, I got lost in the culture, and then I remembered, what, I am a Zulu person. So a Zulu person needs there's Zulu things that we need to do for us to actually succeed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I think
so and in whatever that I do, it's either I find sending the message to them via prayers, via me talking to them, or via me going back home and do the rituals and stuff.
I see. It's really, really fascinating and interesting. And thank you for sharing what you did in the, because if it's something you don't normally share, it sounds very sacred. It sounds very sacred.
It is secret. It is something that I think most of us, we need to put it out there when we talk about the African culture and the South African culture and the Zulu culture, the Venda culture, the Sotho culture. It's something that we need to actually express, tell about it, rather than to show it off on fashion or whatever, on dancing or whatever. But it's something that I think we need to teach other people. But first, we also need to teach our people about our culture and where it started and how we were raised and where we going. Because I believe as the world is diverting to another generation right now. So it's our duty for us to teach the younger generation on what we actually grow up on. And this is the way of going, and this is what they must follow.
I honor that, man. I really honor that and salute your work and your approach to your role as an artist. Because artists, I think, do have a role on the planet, keeping balance. And sometimes, depending on what the artist is doing, they can cause a little chaos because when you have
and you must know you are a big influence in everything that you do or say. You are a big influence.
So what I really, really like about Mbepo is that it reminds me of, I'm just going to say, Black people in general. I understand listening to you that this is more so probably something from a Zulu culture or custom, but it's the idea of calling on your ancestors for guidance, for direction.
Exactly.
It's something that's familiar, I think, to Black Americans as well. Black people outside of the continent, it's just funny you say that, and I think it's dope. I think it's powerful. I think it's a great thing.
I'm telling you, it's way powerful.
For many reasons.
Anything. I'm telling you, it's way powerful than anything. But it's also comes from the belief. If you believe it's gonna work, it is gonna work for you. But if you are brainwashed, because we actually, there's something that other people, they don't talk about, because when you ban Impepo, you have to slaughter a goat.
Okay.
So they slaughter a goat, or you slaughter a cow or chicken or whatever that you slaughtering. But then now in our days, they tried to turn it and make it be like if you slaughtering, you are actually a devil worshipper. So now, if you are a Christian, you're not supposed to slaughter. If you are a church believer, or you are a born again person, or Jehovah's Witness, I don't know if you all do have those people around that type.
Sure, yes.
That goes knocks by the doors and stuff. So if you are those type of people, you don't have to believe in your ancestors.
Yeah.
So
it's a
I think exactly. So I think that's where they got our nation and our people lost, because now they started confusing us to say, okay, fine, if I slaughter a cow or a goat, Ben Impepo and stuff like that I actually worship devil. Meanwhile, you're not doing that. We were brought up to know that if you do these things, these rituals are actually helping you. They actually guide you. They're actually protecting you. That's the most important thing. They're actually protecting you. You
That's
understand?
really,
Because
it's very fast.
you might be in the accident and be the only one that survives.
Oh man,
And
wow.
the
Or the only one
first
that
thing we
passes
do,
away.
exactly,
As in the case of Lisa Lopez.
the first people we're gonna thank, we're gonna say, hey, thank you from our ancestors. They did protect me from this. Yeah. Maybe you're gonna thank your late mother, or you're gonna thank your late grandfather, or you're gonna thank anybody that's from your family that you believe they protecting you wherever you go. It's the same. You go out and you do job hunting. You actually have to talk to them before you leave the house and say, please protect me wherever I go. Make sure the doors are open and stuff like that. So it's those things that I think we as my generation and other people that need to speak about and talk about it to the people, to anybody that actually is in need to know about our culture.
Right. I'm very excited that you're using the platform to share this knowledge and information. I do think it's important. I think you're adding to the need for more education to help us better understand where we are and where we're coming from, and that'll help us understand better where we're going. And those choices and decisions that we need to make, and how we can improve our lives going forward. I feel like, honestly, CB, we can go on for a while on that alone. But I gotta keep it moving. I want to talk a little bit about you as a hip hop artist. You mentioned in your bio that you were influenced by legends in both Africa and abroad. What got you into hip hop?
I've actually, that's a strange. I grew up in an environment where hip hop wasn't dominating like how it is right now globally. We had in South Africa we have genres of music. It's all type of music. We have kwaito, we have house, we have hip hop, we have amapiano, which has just joined us now. So in South Africa we have jazz. Okay, jazz is worldwide, but we got those authentic sounds that belongs to us as South African. So I started listening to kwaito. From Kwaito, and then I think it was 2002, 2003 when 50 Cent when he came out. That's when I started falling in love, and then came and then we had our guys here in South Africa, which they were also doing hip hop. Then we started paying attention to them because our hip hop before then now, the hip hop that I grew up on, it was talking about the struggle. It was talking about the black people fighting for freedom. It was talking about Afrikaner, apartheid, and all that day. So I grew up on that hip hop, but it wasn't so much popular. It wasn't popular like how it is right now. So I grew up on those people. But the person that actually made me to write, he's a legend, Zola. Is our great author and writer. He's just the guy that does everything. He's from Soweto in Johannesburg.
Okay.
I think I'm all right with it.
Okay. Question: what is one of your favorite things about performing and sharing your art for people?
For me,
you may have alluded to it with the education. I think you may have alluded to it when you mentioned sharing and educating the younger generation, things like that. But what's one? I guess
so
you can answer
for me, the moments that I always cherish before and after is before the performance and after the performance. I like before the performance, I like to come early, greet the guys, maybe other guys who are performing after me, maybe the people that who still gonna perform. I like to interact with them, talk to the fans, talk to people out there before I even go on stage. And then same thing after performing. I still want to go to the people and shake hands, talk to them, and then talk to the guys, maybe stay a little bit, and then I can go. So those two moments are most important moments because I know once I'm on stage, it's another problem. So, so that moment on stage, I don't talk about it most of the time because I only see the videos afterwards. But the moments that I actually care about most is when I get in there and then when I leave. I need to actually when I come in there, people have to know that I'm there. The guys, the colleagues that are also in the industry, they have to know I'm there. And then also when I leave, the people have to know that I was there. Understand?
Make your absence
and then
felt.
I can so I can just leave in peace and then make sure that when I'm gone, people they want to say, that guy, I remember him.
Absolutely. Got to leave that impression, but I think that's great, man. I'm sure with your experience over the years, you've performed on a lot of different stages, so you have a lot of experience, and you've talked to a lot of people before and after your performances. Has anyone ever said anything that really surprised you in any of those conversations? Maybe one thing that comes to mind.
I had one person who said, "I didn't know you were a great performer."
I didn't know you were a great performer. Nobody told her?
I didn't know you were. Nobody told her. Then I didn't know that. We know when a person tells you, "I didn't know you were a great performer," but you did where my name was. So what you were expecting? You know what I'm saying? So the greatest thing, the greatest thing was I actually met her expectations. Whatever she expected, I met that.
You may have exceeded it, maybe.
Exactly. So that was the moment for me to say, you know what, I actually did what I came to do here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I have some more questions for you. We're gonna get to them a little bit later on, but in the interest of time, I need to ask you if we can hear one of your songs. Can we do that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
I think we can play about Pansy just to make things warmed up and stuff like that. Then we can carry on.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do that.
Awubathi wena vele udumane awunazi ingoma zakho ivutha umlilo awungathi izinto zakho ziyahlangana awumanje vele ntwana kushuta kuphi maybe mele vele ngihlabela abaphansi maybe mele ngihlabela abaphansi maybe mele ngihlabela abaphansi maybe mele ngihlabela abaphansi exe yangisazi kwenzakala I'm going forward khona ngiqalisela phansi ngathi kumele ngihlabela abaphansi I know I'll make it noma ungangibukela phansi okay inamba ivutha nomlilo sibi and losing that buka lochiko bobaba mkhulu ukhanyisana kushoda kuphi nisho makumele ngihlabele phansi maybe mele ngihlabela abaphansi maybe mele ngihlabela abaphansi maybe mele ngihlabela abaphansi maybe mele ngihlabela abaphansi awubathi wena vele udumane awunazi ingoma zakho ivutha umlilo awungathi izinto zakho ziyahlangana awumanje vele ntwana kushoda kuphi maybe mele vele ngihlabela abaphansi maybe mele ngihlabela abaphansi maybe mele ngihlabela abaphansi maybe mele ngihlabela abaphansi awubathi wena vele udumane awunazi ingoma zakho ivutha umlilo awungathi izinto zakho ziyahlangana awumanje vele ntwana kushoda kuphi maybe mele vele ngihlabela abaphansi maybe million travel up a pass. Maybe million travel up a pass. Maybe million travel up a pass. Shall a pass. Maybe go so loose. It's up push. Maybe I'm gonna be. Maybe this is the time to take a look at the board. Maybe this is the time. I think I'm ready for that. I think I'm ready for sure. Nothing about. Ngithanda ubonga support, sidanke ngiyabona. Sazoloku ngibele sele bazongizwa. Athi ngihunta love bami. Masithanda iplani senze izinto zenzeke. Athi ngikhanda izaka lami. Nami ngibe mnandi ngenze izinto zenzeke. Get a 100,000, get a whip, get a couple times, get a grip. They were throwing rides every weekend. Sending couple hundred to my mama every weekend. Nami jabo listen like Babantu every weekend. Putting niggas on so they can make it, they can eat too. But till I last is can't suck and I received it. NoGhost and I believe that. I'll buy you when I value to money. I'm dancing on my zappo for someday. I'm watching izinto zakho ziyashana. I'm level and done shota. Maybe mele vele travel up a pass. Maybe mele travel up a pass. Maybe mele travel up a pass. Maybe mele travel up a pass. I'll buy you when I value to money. I'm dancing on my zappo for someday. I'm watching izinto zakho ziyashana. I'm level and done shota. Maybe million travel up a pass. Maybe million travel up a pass. Maybe million travel up a pass. Maybe million travel up a pass.
To any artists we have, always listen to their music. Just make sure that they're saying this album, firm believer in quality over quantity. And man, your music is fire. Now you're from South Africa, is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. I'm from South Africa.
Yes, sir. Tell me a little bit about what it's like growing up.
Yeah. That was so dope, man. I love that. I loved it. It had me moving and grooving over there.
Yo, boy, bro, I'm telling you, that's one of my favorite songs right now. I won't lie to you.
It's hitting.
This one is the one that I said I'm gonna go all out.
Yeah, man.
Marketing with sponsors, no sponsors, signed, not signed, but I'm willing to put in each and every effort and work into this.
Bless you. May the ancestors make it happen, man. Great song.
They better.
I really enjoyed that. Loved it. And as I was listening, there was a part of the song where you were ad-libbing kind of early on, and I was thinking about the concept of the song because I didn't understand the words, but I felt the spirit. There was a part of the song where you were ad-libbing. What spirit did I feel?
This maybe million laba pants.
Oh, you were. Yes, you were like in the ad lib. You were it sounded like a whisper, and it made me think of maybe like an ancestral vibe, whispering from the beyond, just talking to you on the low. Because it was like in the background, like faded, but I could hear it was a whisper. I like that. I like that. Nice, man. Great piece. Beautiful. Keep doing your thing, and hopefully we get to hear a little bit more later on.
Yeah, that's
more time. Yeah, CB. No it bud, man. It bud. Woo. Okay.
That's hard.
Yo, Kerry.
After this one, we need to think what's gonna happen after this.
Because it's funny. I was curious what the chorus was. I would like to know what some of the lyrics were. Yeah, what the lyrics were, and if we can go into maybe the chorus, because in the interest of time, can you tell us what the chorus I was saying?
What's the chorus say? Hold on, let me say. They saying, they asking when are you gonna blow up?
Okay.
And your song are so hot.
Okay.
But it look like your things are coming together, but we don't know where it's short. I don't know but we don't know what's holding you.
Okay, as you mentioned earlier.
So it says, they're asking, when are you gonna blow up? When are you gonna blow up? Because your songs are so hot. Your things are looking they're looking bright. Your things look like they are getting together, but we don't know where what's holding you. So maybe I should go back home and talk to the ancestors.
Okay.
So that's the whole song. That's the whole song. So it says people, they actually feel what I'm doing, but they actually don't know what's holding, what's holding me to blow up. But me, I also talk to myself and say, you know what, maybe I should go back home and bend in Bepo and talk to my ancestors. Maybe, who knows? I might get to where I want to be.
Right. Lovely. Thank you so much for that, for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I like to unpack songs. There's always so much behind songs. There's so much history sometimes, and it's not just emotion. There's history, there's stories. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. I want to segue over to Kerry. I know you were feeling that, Kerry. I saw it in the chat. You were bopping.
What?
Word up, man.
No problem. Thank you very much, Kay.
Listen, once you explain the background, about the necessity, because I think,
you sound a little bit far away, Kerry.
All right, let me go back. How about now? It's better?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, bro.
All right. Yeah, so I think you explaining that really kind of allowed me to think about that, because we all, sometimes, like what you're trying to say, I think, is the necessity of sometimes when you got to just go back. You know what I'm saying? Like once you go, on a trip, sometimes like if you find yourself getting lost after you've, journeyed a little bit, it's safe to go back to the place where you knew where you had it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely
there's a place that. And there's a place where definitely when you go back there, you're gonna find answers.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's definitely. Yeah, that's I can feel that, because life will put us in those places, and sometimes we just have to be able to go back to the place wherever we were in order to hear, to listen, to sit down, to reset. So that was definitely important. I felt that.
Nah, thank you very much, my bro.
Yeah, loving it. And on that note, when I think about having a place or a source where you can go to for guidance, and it's almost like something that almost never fails you, right? I think about parents. I think about your parents, how sometimes you've distanced, and you can sometimes go to them. Yeah, it could be a parent, it could be an aunt. In my case, like my grandmother was that for us. And she was that for, I saw it, like, for example, my sister would go to her oftentimes when unsure about things. It could be dreams that you don't know how to interpret the dreams. So she would go to my grandmother for answers. And as I think about this, I think about you, Kerry. You're a father, creative artist, poet, and as a father, part of that responsibility is to be there for your child. To kind of provide those answers. So I know you've got hats that you wear: author, poet, creative artist, and a dad. So how do you kind of like manage it all when it comes to all those different things that you've got on your plate?
I think the most important thing is to always be present in every moment that you have, in every role. Because, I'm not always, although I'm always a dad or a father, I'm not always in that moment of fathering. So in that moment that I get the opportunity to father, then I'll be present in that, whether it's a poet, whether it's, writing poetry or whatever, spoken word or performing, you want to be present. You know what I'm saying? So trying to make sure that you're listening, you're grounding yourself, and just being present in those. So that's because, you can't do it all. Right, you can't do it all at the same time. You can't go, you can't go 1,000 you know what I'm saying, percent in every direction because something's going to fall. So you have to just, you have to, you know, how do you eat elephant? In small bites, right? You don't just walk up to an elephant and you just break it down to smaller, you know, smaller places. So that's what I try to do.
Indeed. I think every creative individual that has a lot of things that they're kind of juggling has to find what their best method is for really not spilling everything that they're juggling. Because you could juggle a lot of things, but then things start falling. You start making a mess of stuff. And I know as like a person who does different things, you know, one minute I'm like you said, I'm in dad mode, father mode, and next minute I'm doing this, and being able to kind of pivot and shift when necessary it helps. It definitely helps. I wanted to ask you if you can just introduce yourself real briefly to this audience, because we've met before on different capacity on Poems and Politics, but I was looking forward to having you on this program so you could meet this audience and they could get to know you as well. So briefly, you could tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Definitely. So I am a father, published author, artist, poet, and creative. I've been a soldier for the last 20 years. I retired coming up in November, finishing off with that. And so moving on to some other things. So that's kind of really, I've been doing poetry for about 3 years. And I found myself in a situation where, like we were talking about, how we had all these things that we were juggling. And I realized, you know, you can't manage it all. You know what I'm saying? You have to take time, reset. And so I thought I was really, really resilient because I would be able to get through things and not be bothered, but not realizing that the body keeps the count. And so everything that we go through, everything that we do, right, there's a sacrifice, right? So if I'm 1,000% in dad mode, then poetry might fall back if I'm, you know, so, and vice versa. But it all, you know what I'm saying, you have to deal with whatever you've been dealing with, whatever you've wrestled with, whatever you went through, you have to actually go through that. So my main message to anybody that hears me is just, you know, be able to deal with whatever hands you have, right? You know, everybody got cards, everybody got aces, and everybody got twos, right? But and those twos, they, you know, those are, you know, they might suck, but at the same time, if you go through them and learn from them and try to, you know, glean what you can from them, it'll make you a better person. So I just if there's one thing that I want to leave with anybody is just don't push your stuff don't put your trauma to the wayside. Don't put anything that you've been through to the wayside. Deal with it, sit with it, and go through it, because it's going to make you a better person, or it's going to give you a different perspective, which ultimately is going to make you a better person.
And very well said. You know, and with that, it reminds me of your book. I think you're a testament to that. You know, you're not just talking right now. You are a living testament to what it means to sit with something, traumatic experiences that you've had in life, and grow in it, grow through it, and really transform yourself. We're going to talk a little bit about that later on as we touch on a little bit about your history. But I want to ask you, as a creative artist, what is one of your favorite things about creating your art for others?
I think the thing is that it's not even like, sometimes we want to be excited about a gift, but sometimes I can look at a poem. The other day I was looking at this poem. I was like, man, who wrote that? And I wrote it, but it was just like, it was so fire as far as like being relative. And I was just like, man. And so being a creative is like, man, it's like an out of body experience sometimes. So the greatest thing for me is being able to see stuff on paper and be like, man, my mind or my brain was moving my hand, because I didn't really, you know what I'm saying? This isn't something I like intentionally put on this paper, but how it all flowed together. Oh, you said that? And I'll be like, man. So that for me is being able to do that. And then the last thing I'll leave you with is being able to leave a legacy, right? So my parents, they both are gone. They both died around 60, 61. And I don't have any connection with them, meaning like I don't have their history. I don't know what they've been through. But for me, being a creative, there's going to be a day where if I leave here, sooner than expected, Kayana, my daughter, will be able to go back and she'll be able to read my book. She'll be able to read some of my stories, some of the things that I've been through, and she'll be able to go, okay, this explains a lot, right? So that's what I really like about that.
Powerful, very powerful. Such intentionality, in what you do with respect to your work, and the impact that you want to have. You are a poet with a very interesting story about how you actually found poetry. Can you share that with my guests?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
thank you.
I was in a rehab facility. Life had gotten too much, and like I said before, you know, when you go through, I've been through child abuse, and I thought, I'm 30 plus years old. I just get over that stuff. Like, come on, bro. You were 8 years old. You're now 30 plus years. Like, you just get over that stuff. But it wasn't until I went to the rehab, to therapy, and started really digging into that stuff to realize and making connections that a lot of the stuff that I was dealing with was stuff that I wasn't dealing with. And I was the common denominator. So I look at relationships and I look at, patterns in my life, and I realized that I was a common denominator. And I couldn't blame my ex-wife. I couldn't blame, this ex-girlfriend or these people or these coworkers. I had to look at myself. Yeah. So rehab allowed me to do that. And there was a guy who was leaving rehab. And when you're in rehab, it's a protected environment. Nothing that you're really struggling with is there. So, you get your strength back. You get to, you get grounded. And he was getting ready to leave. And as he was getting ready to leave, I could see the fear and the nervousness on his face and upon his countenance. And so I just, threw some words together as kind of a little letter to him. And when I put it down, I read it to him, of course, and read it in the group. And then everybody was like, man, you got something there. And so then it was from there that I started writing things that I went through. And my book was actually formed within, I started writing in April, and by September, my book was formed. I had 40 poems that were, that were powerful, impacting, transparent, that allowed me to see certain things. And this is how I was processing. And so poetry for me is that way out for me.
Deep, man. So this stuff just poured out of you. It ended up being a book. Because it's just making me think about what you said earlier, how sometimes the brain can go and the hand just writes. You don't necessarily, you just become like an impasse and channel out what's inside of you. Yeah. I think that's a very, very, very powerful story, because it's just so much going on there. I like the idea of you just sort of like trying something new. I love the idea of doing something in service of somebody else. I love the epiphany, how you kind of like discover something about yourself. And then the journey, you just ran with that, you know what I mean? And here we are. So I always, for myself, I think about poetry, that when poetry came into my life and what it means and how it continues to give, it continues to give back to me in different ways, by creating experiences around poetry that they're just so enriching experiences like this one tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And just being able to, to vibe with different people and people like right now, I've never spoken to anyone from Africa, right? Never in my life, 40 years of experience. And I've never experienced that. And to be, in the podcast and in a venue where I'm able to, dice it up with you and hear some of the history of my history that I don't know about, right? So I don't even know some of these things. It's really I was like, man, I'm excited because there's so much. And I do plan a trip, within a couple of years to get out to Africa just to figure all that stuff out because, as African Americans, and I do the air quotes, there's so much that we just don't know about us, right? And so it's a beautiful thing. So I'm definitely excited to be here.
Do you have any questions for him?
No, because I think me and him are gonna connect, and hopefully we'll be able to. Because like I want to do that. Because we just start asking questions, and then it just goes, goes.
We never get to
that,
trivia.
We'll never get to the trivia. So we never get to the poetry, and never get to that. So we're gonna connect. He has my information. I have his information. We'll get on there and do that and try to connect that way.
Most definitely. That's
so. I appreciate that.
All right. So right now, Kerry, I'm gonna ask you: do you have a piece that you could share with us at this time?
Absolutely. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna give you the title afterwards.
Okay. Sounds good.
America had a problem. They say in 2001, 19 members of Al-Qaeda boarded 4 planes with the sole purpose to bring their enemies to their knees. For 10 years, their intelligence communities fell short of locating the mastermind. On May 1st, 2011, regularly scheduled programming was interrupted for an announcement that shocked the world. Osama bin Laden is dead. He was located hiding out in Pakistan. 23 members of SEAL Team 6 saw, raised Osama's bet, got the ones other failed to get, set his body a sail to meet his God, his promised virgins. All my life I've had to fight, to be treated right, to be loved right, to stay in spite. I find myself like Obama, presidents before, at war looking for my very own SEAL Team 6. Someone to right wrongs, to inspire songs, to fight through, to fight alongside, to rescue. See, the truth is, I feel like I need rescuing, some saving. I would someone come save me. I'm struggling. I cannot breathe. I'm tired, battle-worn, weary of life and all these promises, the good, bad, sad, ugly. Maybe we have something in common. Maybe I've discovered something worth telling, writing, shouting, screaming, something I keep telling myself. There's no one else coming. You are your own SEAL Team 6. Suit, boot up, put yourself in a rut, carry yourself when you've grown weary, use your sixth sense when you're feeling leery, low crawl, high knees, execute every target, every bad guy, every flaw that you have, place them in your sights. If no one told you, I'm telling you, it's your fight. I know it gets lonely some nights. You have to hold yourself, rock yourself to sleep, wake up, sleep early, sleep in the days. You need the extra strength to battle, razzle, dazzle, shock, all claw, fireman, carry the best, brightest, highest you into every day. Show up. See yourself as your own SEAL Team 6. I'm not talking in an unhealthy way. You've got it all together. I'm simply saying for those waiting on someone, something to love you, to treat you, to recognize who you are, what you bring to the table, your value, your worth, to make you great, to enable you to push you into your next blessed place, to make you wake up and realize that the world is waiting on you. And that piece is called Seeing Yourself as SEAL Team 6.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yo.
Yeah, man.
I love it too. I would like you, man. K.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah.
No doubt. I love that message, man. Absolutely. Sometimes you kind of don't. I know for me, sometimes I don't see that I can pick myself up. I might just have too much going on. And I don't see that. I lose sight of that sometimes. Right. But absolutely. And it makes me think about also something that I've heard before, which from Les Brown, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, where he talks about, he says sometimes there is someone that comes into your life that is there to take you to a place within yourself that you can't go to by yourself. What do you guys think of that?
I think that's important because I think everybody that we meet, I think that not in the cliche form of it, you meet people for seasons, reasons, and lifetimes. I think it's important. I think it's important to inventory who you have with you, and I think it's necessary sometimes to realize that some people do carry you to a place. Some people carry and drop you off, and we be mourning them, but they were only destined to carry us to that, to that place. Point. So.
Interesting. What are your thoughts, CB?
No, man. What I can say is there's a lot that I actually learned from everything that my bro just said right now.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that I do relate on his poem, on his stories that he told right now. I think one of the things that I would like to highlight. I'm not going to take long. I'm just going to be short. It's when he said a lot of things that happened to you while you were a child on your upbringing, they can actually affect you when you are at the certain stage or the certain phase of life.
Definitely.
I've also heard the same thing. As he said, if I'm not mistaken, you lost your parents, bro.
Yeah, both of them. Not early as yours, but later. They only lived to 60. So
but still they're not here. They're not here with you. They're not actually listening to the interview right now, but we believe that they are watching you. You understand? So what I also came across the similar situation. It also hit me when I was like, okay, fine. Now I need a next step in life. What should I do right now? And then I had those thoughts, having those flashbacks on how I lost them and when I was young, and how did I came out of being an orphan to actually able to feed myself, to actually pay the school fees for myself, work in the garden, get whatever paycheck that I'm getting, paying for whatever that I was paying for up until now. So that also comes back now to say, if they didn't leave, because we believe God taken them. So I believe if God didn't take them, maybe my life would have been different. Maybe this wasn't going to happen. Maybe such and such was going to happen this way. Maybe if I was having difficulties, or I wanted to take a break in life on whatever that I do, maybe if they were here, it was going to be easy for me to go back to them and say, you know what, I'm having difficulties there and there. What is your guidance? Tell me something. Give me that. Can you all back me up for a moment? Let me have my me moment and just be at the background at the moment. And then I can hear when I'm right, I can go back to the world. I think whatever he said, but his stories, it's actually, it touched me a lot, bro. I won't lie to you, because it's like he was speaking to me in any ways.
Very, very powerful. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the vibe here at the Pod Poets Lounge. We are chilling and relaxing, sharing artistry, getting to know each other, and chilling with y'all. Welcome. Thank you again for tuning in to the Pod Poets Lounge. Catch our latest episodes at home or on the go from your favorite listening app. Yes, it could be iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, our home right here on Podbean. Wherever it is, make sure you tune in. And remember that one of these dope poets tonight will get a prize, sponsored by CompuFix Solutions, an IT firm providing safe and secure remote technical support. But tonight's Pod Poets Trivia winner will be dropping off some heat in the July issue of the Ink magazine. Their writing will be published in the Spilled Ink section. And shout out to God's Ink, the spoken word artist, creative director behind the Ink magazine. Very, very funny host. That brother's hilarious, doing his thing on the Words I Never Said podcast. Congrats as well. At Clubhouse, he has an open mic on there. Doing his thing. Love it, love it, love it. Awesome collaboration. You can follow the Ink magazine at the Ink magazine on Instagram. And you can check out God's Ink at Gods_Ink_spoken word. See what he's got going on. And of course, we're there as well. You can find us at the_podpoets_lounge, or you can visit our website at thepodpoetslounge.card.co. And that's card, CARRD.co. Always get updated Instagram games posted there. Also, you can reach out to us for bookings and things like that, as I mentioned earlier, by emailing thepodpoetslounge@gmail.com. You can also you can DM as well if that's what you want to do. And you can also subscribe. Please help us grow the platform there, our YouTube channel. Subscribe on there. And yeah, that's all I wanted to share real quick with everybody. So the vibe continues. We're about to get into our trivia game now. Yes, it is trivia time. Are you gentlemen excited?
I am excited.
Yeah, I was already.
The crowd seems to be quite excited as well. So let's get ready. We have a few categories tonight. They are the Stuff Folder, IG Poet, Rhythm and Poetry, Word Whiz, and Finish Line. So the way the game goes is the poets will pick a category, and I'll read and I'll share the question right in the chat. The first round will be group questions. That means the poets are going to lock in their choice and tell me out loud what they think the answer is, or you can text it in the chat. It's 1 point for each correct answer. And these are mostly going to be multiple choice style questions. So here are the categories when the game officially starts. Okay. But we're going to do a little test. Let's put our big toe in the water right now and see how that feels. Okay. So here's our test question. It's worth no points. It's just to get us ready to do some guessing, because some of these questions, it's going to be guesswork. Some of them you will know, some of them you won't. No. Here we go. The first question is, how do chickens motivate their kids? How do chickens motivate their kids? Is it A, they egg them on? Is it B, they get them excited? Or is it C, they crack them upside the head? How
crack them upside the head?
Chickens motivate their kids.
Okay. What you said, the first answer was?
Egg them on.
Egg them on, and then egg them on. Yeah, I understand it. And then the other one
was get them excited.
Get them excited. I think egg them on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I think egg them on.
So this one was actually, I have A as a correct answer.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. Egg them on, yes.
I got it.
You got it correct, yes. But I really think deep down, any one of these would have been good answers.
Right.
Yeah, but egg them on. There's also a story we say in our culture, because we say ilokhuzaneni isikhukhukazi sifukamela amachwane aso.
Okay.
That means that the chicken actually, they egg them on, even if they now out of eggs and they are just like chickens and stuff, but they still make sure that they protect them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
that's why I chose that answer.
Oh, okay. It's funny. I saw today. I have on my street. And one of the things I like about my neighborhood too is that it's mixed. I remember certain aspects of like being back home in Jamaica. We have like Folkub, and then something where you have chicken and rooster. I run round and I do what I do whatever I want to do. But sometimes it's interesting when I see it here in America. And I have I live in a mixed community, so there's a large Hispanic community here. It's mostly Hispanics in this area, and some of them have there's these two. There's a rooster and a hen. They're like a married couple that I always see running across the street from time to time. But they're very cherished animals, especially in terms of being a source of food. Be the case. I wanted to get us into the part now of the trivia that has points. This is where it counts now, gentlemen. Okay. This is the big leagues now. All right. So we're gonna get the first question out here. We're gonna start with CB. We're gonna have you select the category. Yeah, and we'll start with you. What category do you want to select?
Which one was?
We have the stuff folder. We
what?
have
Which one?
rhythm and poetry. We have IG poet, which is Instagram poet, word whiz, and finish line.
Let me try finish line.
Okay, finish line. That's a nice one.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm gonna give you part of the line of the poem, and you gotta select the correct choice to finish the line. So this is gonna be a group question, gentlemen. Here you go. Your question is: poems are made by fools like me. Now finish the line. Is it A, fools like me, and that's the birth of poetry, or is it fools like me and B, and prose is written by fools is written? I think that should be written. Pardon me. Written by fools like me, or is it C, but only God can make a tree, or is it D, and cast in bottles to the sea?
I think it's D.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with D as well.
Both of you going with D on this one. Okay. Poems are made by fools like me and cast in bottles to the sea. Okay, that's a nice ring to it. Unfortunately, it is not D.
Is it C?
It is C. Yeah, Kerry. It's C. This one is C. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. Nice.
Okay. Got it. Now I learned something.
All right, Kerry, your turn. What category for you?
All right, let's go with the stuff folder.
Okay. So this is always a mix of questions from all different types of categories. I think this one is from U.S. history. Here's your question. As a result of the cultivation of tobacco in Virginia, did A, the large estates were divided into smaller agricultural units, or B, a scattered pattern of settlement emerged in the colony? C, the Virginia Company began to send male laborers to the colony, or D, settlers began to congregate in urban areas? Cultivation of tobacco in Virginia. You know what? I'll give you guys, I'll let you eliminate one choice.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not D. It is not D. Nothing about a settlement. Settlers began to congregate. I'm going to go with A. Okay, we've got A from
I'm going to go with a B.
Okay, and we've got B from CB. And on this one, CB, you are correct.
CB is
I think I was, I don't know if I'm not, I was on one of the guys' podcast from Virginia. So
okay.
I kind of did a little bit of research there and there and stuff like that about how,
Love to learn, man.
Yeah.
Nice. You never know when you're gonna get information that you could use on the show.
Exactly.
You just never know.
That's true.
All right. CB, you're up. What category for you, sir?
Okay, can you repeat for me which ones we have?
The folder. IG poet, rhythm and poetry, word whiz, and finish line.
I'm gonna go with number 2.
Okay, that is Instagram poet.
Yeah,
all right, so sometimes these can be quotes. It could be a post information that's shared by an Instagram poet. And your question here is, which Instagram poet did the Canadian Poetry Slam champion at Another Nisha post a video of on January 22nd of 2021? So this Instagram poet made a post of a slam champion. So which IG poet did the Canadian Poetry Slam champion post a video of? So this was not the slam champion. The slam champion posted a video of this person.
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps, but
we'll see about that.
I don't know if that makes it any easier to answer this one.
We'll see about that. Let's carry on.
So your answers or choices are: is it A, Talam, not A, that's not Talam. Is it A, Miley Cyrus official? Is it B, Mir Rad Das Gupta official? Or is it C, Amanda C. Gorman? Or is it D, Talam AC?
I only know one person. Out of all these names that you just mentioned, I only heard of Miley Cyrus. The rest, I won't lie to you. Maybe I need to follow and just check out. But
all right.
I think I'll go with number one.
You go with number one, okay. Miley
Yeah.
Cyrus, okay. And what do you think, Kerry?
I'm torn between C and D. I'm gonna go with C just because she did
okay.
not good.
Well, actually, both of you guys got this one wrong. This one was actually B. Yeah, this was Mirada Gupta official.
Terrible.
This was a long shot, man.
We're
Guys.
bad. We're bad.
This was a real long shot. All right. I think let's see.
I made the wrong choice by choosing that though. I shouldn't have gone there.
You'll have more chances. We got a few more to go out of this round.
Yeah.
I think you're up actually. NoGhost. What category for you, sir?
Nadi, my category. Can you repeat them for me again, please?
Oh, I think that was no. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that you went.
was
You
me
did go last.
before.
Yeah, I think Kerry's
go
up.
last. And
My
Kerry's
apologies.
up,
All right, let's go.
No problem.
Let's go with rhythm and poetry.
Okay. Here we go. So with this category, I'm going to share a line with you from either a song or a poem, and you've got to tell me what you think it is.
Okay.
And your line is, quote, "It is deadly, terrifying. It is the Inquisition, the revolution. It is beauty itself." Do you think this came from a rap song or from a poem?
10, 9, 8, 7.
I think from 6, a rap song.
5, 4,
okay.
3, 2, 1.
Let's go with it is the Inquisition, the revolution, it's the beauty itself. Jesus. I'll do a rap song.
Rap song as well?
Yep.
Well, gentlemen, unfortunately, no.
We're not doing good.
Yo, bad. But at least I'm still leading, so I'm still in good position. I'm still in good position.
It's a close game, very close game. I'm showing the scoreboard as 1-0 right
0.
now.
Yep.
Yeah.
1-0. Yep.
It's a tight game, man, guys. Anything can happen here.
Anything can happen.
All right, CB, you are up.
Yeah, man.
Let's see how that next category is going to treat you, man.
All right, no problem. I'll go with is it number 3?
Rhythm and poetry. Okay.
Again.
You got it. So here is your line. "Take my hand and we'll pick my plantation. Of daisies for a bouquet of soul, life will begin at the cut of rim. Take it as filled to the rim as in brim." Is this from a poem or is it from a rap song? Take my hand and we'll pick my plantation. Of daisies for a bouquet of soul. What are your thoughts?
I think a poem.
Okay. We've got poem from CB.
I don't see this as a rap thing.
Okay.
10,
Kerry?
9, 8.
I'm gonna go with a song.
Spotlight on you. You're gonna go with rap song.
5.
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Kerry, you got this one. This is from a rap song. Nicely done. I'm loving the vibe, gentlemen. This is well played. We are officially tied up.
It's cool. Kerry, you go now. Let's see.
All right. We just made things even more interesting here. So that was actually from De La Soul, a song called "I Know." Yes, you are up now.
I need to check that.
Let's go with Word Whiz.
Word Whiz. Okay. You got it. Let me slide on over to this category. This category word whiz features vocabulary. It can be vocabulary relative to literature or just generic vocabulary words, SAT type vocabulary words, and so on. Things relative to poetry or spoken word. So here is your question. The word disport means to enjoy oneself with mindful restraint. The word disport means to enjoy oneself with mindful restraint.
I'm going to say true, just because. I don't know.
Okay. Kerry thinks this one is true.
I would think. Yeah. You said what it meant?
To enjoy oneself with mindful restraint. So it's like don't party too hard. You know not to party too hard.
Yeah,
you know not to drink too much or play too hard. So there's some mindful restraint. You find that's true. Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
This was a good guess and not an easy question, but this one is actually false.
Right.
Disport is the opposite. It actually means to frolic in an unrestrained, unfettered kind of way.
Makes sense.
I like that word. I'm going to see if I can incorporate that
I'm going to try to put that
this
in.
week.
Yep. I did. And it actually says the opposite of what you said.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. You are up, CB.
Yeah, no problem. I'll choose number 1 this time.
Okay. Back to the stuff folder. We're going to put our hands in here and see what comes out. You just never know. So, unfortunately, we did lose DMX. Earl Simmons joined the musical legends in the ancestral plane to watch over our creativity from afar, but they've left us with absolute gems. DMX in particular. This question is, to honor this legend in a way. What music label was DMX a part of? Was it A, Columbia, B, Def Jam, or C,
Def Jam.
Sony Music? And this would be... He was on Def Jam. I'm showing this, so I guess I want to be a little bit more specific.
Specific, okay.
At the time of his transition, what record company was he with?
So okay, how many record? No, which other one?
Which music label? Either Sony Music. Let me repost the choices. Was C for Sony Music. B was Def Jam, and A was Columbia.
I think it was C, and then when he died. Now he was on Def Jam. I don't know if I got that correctly, but I think that's it.
Okay,
I'm going with Columbia.
I have this one as C. It was a tough question to put together a little bit because he moved around to different labels. But I had it showing that the last label he was with was Sony Music.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you both this one, okay, guys? We're going to give you both.
Thank you. No problem. That's cool.
And we'll go over to let's get one more question out of this round before we have some more conversation, get to know you guys a little more. Hopefully hear some more of your art. Who is up now?
Let's go with. I'll do another word whiz. Why not?
Okay, you got it.
Nah, I think. No. Let's carry on. I'm thinking of something. I'm like, nah, you got me on that. So now you gonna go on one.
Oh man, CB, good luck with this one, man. Kerry's feeling real confident.
I actually needed luck. I needed luck because I know he deliberately did that on purpose. Am I correct, Kerry? Am I correct?
Well, I've always been a wordsmith.
Exactly.
I like learning words though.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. Yeah, let's
That's
go.
why I had to have like a category like this in the Pod Poets Lounge. All right, so here you go, gentlemen. Entelechy. What does this word mean? Entelechy. Does it mean A, the act of engaging in tourism, or B, the prescription of medicine, or C, the realization of one's potential, or is it D, the migration of animals?
I am going to go with C.
10, 9,
C is in Charlie?
8,
C is in Charlie.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm gonna go with A.
1.
A. Okay. Great guess. Kerry, I don't know if you guessed this one or not, but you got this one correct.
Finally.
Nicely done.
Finally.
No.
Finally.
Yeah, I knew it's gonna help me on this one. I knew it.
I had to, man. I got to. But I got to make it a good game.
Yeah, but congratulations, man. Yeah, congratulations.
We still got another round.
Yeah, let's try to squeeze another round into our session here, gentlemen, before we get out of here. We've got about 30 more minutes to go.
Yep.
I wanted to get back into our conversation, but right now we're going to just end that round of trivia. Very, very well played. Yes, 3 points for Kerry, 2 points for NoGhost, and we're going to pick up where we left off. To get back into a little bit of the conversation, let me first real quick just thank everybody for tuning in. Big up wherever you are listening from once again for tuning into the Pod Poets Lounge, tonight's game show. We're chilling with the very, very amazing and phenomenal NoGhost. He is here alongside the published author, Kerry Kinlaw, a.k.a. The Mass Poet, and you are checking out the Pod Poets Lounge. Check out the Instaplay trivia game for this episode, number 32, on Instagram, where we have fun celebrating our poets, and the fun continues over there. So let's rock into a little bit more conversation. Before we get into it, real quick, what is the best way for listeners to connect with you, CB?
They can find me on Facebook. It's CB NoGhost. And then they can find me on Twitter. It's CB_NoGhost01. And then on Instagram, that's where you can actually find me most of the time. It's CB_NoGhost. So that's where they can find me. But I don't know if you'll use WhatsApp that side. But I got WhatsApp number, so
okay. Yes.
Yeah. So that's where they can get me in those 3 platforms. I'm available in those 3 platforms, and they can also get access to my music, to whatever I do daily, my updates on whatever moves that I'm trying to do or anything that I'm trying to venture into. It's everything there.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Same question to you as well, Kerry. What's the best way for listeners to get in touch with you?
They can hit me up. I have a website, and they can also hit me up on IG. They can hit me up on IG, which of course is _ the Mass Poet. And I also have a website, which is Kerry, my first name, Kinlaw, last name.
Okay. Awesome. Appreciate that, gentlemen. Thank you very much. So I had some questions lined up and ready for you, Kerry. But Kerry, I want you to tell me if there's anything now on your mind that you want to, mention or talk about in particular.
No. You know what? Let me do this. Let me ask you this question. I owe you a piece. So let's see what kind of mood you're in.
Okay.
I have a hard-hitting piece, which is called Cuteness Overload. And then I have another piece, which is a self-love piece, which is talking about Talk to Me Nicely.
Okay. For me, I don't know if CB might feel a little differently. For me, the piece that you did earlier, for me, it wasn't all self-love, but it was along those lines of looking into yourself and kind of like self-reflective and that kind of thing. So for me, I would want to hear the hard-hitting piece, which has a lovely title, by the way, Cuteness Overload.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay. All right, here we go. This is called Cuteness Overload.
Okay.
I'm convinced that this may be the hardest piece I may ever spit. I'm not coming out of the closet, but I'm telling myself it's okay if I was. You damn right, we hit vulnerability jackpot, snot, aisle 10, cleanup, maintenance crews, mom trapped me in a basement, a closet. I will never. I refuse. I'm talking about the conditioning. The need to fit in. To dull my sharp-ass lines to make you comfortable. We a long way from Rudy Huxtable and Cuteness Overload. Some of us been oversold. I'm an 80s baby. Would you say for 40 years I ain't been able to show weakness, fears, yell at my tears? Not yet, not here. My pen is the real hero. She translates shit I never say out loud, and this is the day of the receipt. When the internet piles and plays sashaying through growth spurts, no time for hurts, and I'm not sure what feels worse, the playground or the World Wide Web. I didn't care if strangers put some shit together, but the peeps on the playground, the lock-filled hallways, black, fighting at bus stops, pranking cops, loading rocks at cars, off shoulders, having to fight about my mama jokes when actuality my mom was killing me. Between tokes and billows of smoke caught me off the foster care, family, here, there, a kid as a Rolling Stone carrying hats and garbage bags to new homes, riding the back seats of cars with state seals, all that shit I was not allowed to feel. No one told me it doesn't dissolve, it doesn't dissipate. On top of that, I got to spend my adult years dealing, searching, longing for healing. Imagine my surprise when the church didn't take the pain away. And God knows I can pray. I'm an intercessor, standing between God and man, sometimes feeling more like God than man. I cannot afford to sleep, meals too depressed to eat, with a broken heart to continue to pump and beat. These scavenger ravenous Dracula bitches suck me dry. Of course, not the sucking I like, but having the audacity to tell me to take a hike after I subscribed and convince myself that I like them, treating me like I should be proud to have them on my arm, leave me ghosting without long these stakes I charm, knowing in a few weeks we back with a vengeance at Heartbreak Hotel, when I'm not jail to lay or latch edges, hard rock places, ledges, ideation, no escaping, just chasing shot for shot, trying to convince the world I'm hot. Yeah, I stole lyrics from him. In actuality, the world's convinced, just not me, him, or myself in my eyes. We see through the lies, refuse to cry. We can't assault the soft spots in armor with a bitch like karma waiting in the wings, a day of reckoning to his pride to wallow and wallow, adding vengeance and envy, not pity or titty. And although you never guessed I was the runt, I made it halfway down the field looking more like an onside kick. No more work to burn. These aren't lessons I've learned, but badges I've earned. I am a survivor. Adapting, exacting, emotional mapping, if only to properly spit. And if I don't give a damn if it's in 3 minutes, 10 seconds, this is my damn story. Fuck this slam. This poem is a weapon. A problem held together with scotch tape. Can you hear me screaming rape? Because life is violating, semi-annihilating. Some would still refuse to rescue or celebrate. My greatness lays waste. I've been damaged from the gate. No softening of the blows. Just billows and billows of pain, which serves as a cane to help me walk. And oodles of undulating trauma. Damn. Imagine if I let this poet talk. That's my poem and my piece.
Ooh, yeah, man, it's hard.
Yo,
right?
That's hard.
Yeah, man,
that's hard. That's too hard. But
I can sort of see you steaming up and getting redder and redder as you read that. Like there's so much passion and fire,
bro.
Yeah, man.
You know when he started, you know, he was like going with it. Then he finally found it. Then he started kickstarting, and then he flew.
Right.
And so he went with it like crazy.
That piece is really for men, black men, who, you know, it talks about sexuality. It talks about the fitting into the molds, into fitting into things and different things like that. That piece is for me to break out of the mold, to be whatever I want to be whoever I want to be, and to be okay with that. To have the conversation, the necessary dialogue that we sometimes shy away from because it doesn't always fit the popular narrative. And so that's what that piece is really all about. It's just like trying to have that conversation with myself in a poem. And then, of course, you know, Slam, which talks about the 3 minutes and 10 seconds. And, you know, sometimes I don't care if I win. It's just about, listen, I just want to get this off. I want to get this poem off. And I want to say what I need to say. And it might not fit in the 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm okay with that. And so that's what that piece is really about.
I can dig it. Yeah, I really enjoy it.
Okay, man. Big time.
One of my favorite lines in there was actually when you said, "My pen is the real hero."
Yeah,
that was one of the lines that really stood out to me, and it made me actually think about CB, because something that he has said is nothing beats writing a song that describes exactly what you're feeling. It's almost like your heart wrote the song itself. Words can be hard to find. Music finds them for us. Is that an accurate quote?
That's the real one. That actually explain what there's a verse that I wrote that I'm just gonna wear it now. It's have Zulu and English in between. So, but what I can do is later on, I will send you via your DMs and stuff like that, just to explain the Zulu
lyrics?
part, and then the lyrics, so that you can understand it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So it goes like this here. Hlala phansi, lalela isitori sami, ngisaphanda, maybe kuzolunga. Ngisapush, maybe angafiki. Maybe this is the time. Take a look at the boy. Maybe this is the time. I think I'm ready for them. I think I'm ready for sure. Nami ngiyabona. Ngithanda ukubonga i-support. Thanking ngiyabonga. Ngisazolokhu ngibelesele bazongizwa. Awuthi ngibonga ulova bami. Asikhande iplanisa izinto zenzeke. Awuthi ngikhande isaka lami. Nami ngibe mnandi ngenza izinto zenzeke. I get 100 out, get a whip, and get a couple times, and get a crib. Then there's the last one that I need to share right now. Okay, sending couple 100,000 to my mama every weekend. Nami jabulisa lababantu every weekend. Putting niggas on so they can make it and they eat too. But abanye isikhathi some less and I receive too. NoGhost, and I believe that.
No doubt.
There's actually there's actually a verse from the song Abapansi. So I did that because that paragraph you took there on whatever was written there, it's what actually explains the song.
Understood.
Because it's coming straight from the heart.
Indeed.
Sounds good. I like it.
Yeah.
Likewise, man.
Yeah.
So you CB, you've done a lot of collaborations. You've done quite a bit of collaborations, and you're a hard worker. You're a man of vision and ambition. It kind of like speaks to you to, I think, to be able to collaborate with different people across different countries, you know what I'm saying, different barriers, and to actually just make it happen. Some of your success in South Africa includes being featured in local newspapers. I think like Izola Zoe.
Yes, that's correct.
And Daily Sun.
Daily Sun, yeah.
Plus the radio station like Inanda FM and others.
And others, yes, that's true.
Now you're working on some things now, and we have a little time left. So you and I talked earlier today for like an hour. I didn't want a longer conversation with you, because me ain't touch on certain things, and I might kind of made them there. But I had some questions for you, man. But I'm not going to be able to get to them. I'm just not.
Okay. No
but
problem.
because you and I was talking, and there's definitely some things that you wanted to share with the listeners. So that includes your mixtape and other things. So you please take a moment and do that for me. Okay.
I'm currently working on the mixtape. It's actually done. I'm just waiting for. I'm just waiting to take it to my other guy who's also a producer, just to give it a final stamp and say, what, it's done. Now we can put it out there. So I have another mixtape which I did with. There's a guy that I did. He's more poetic. I actually wanted to feature him in this podcast, but then he didn't take the calls. I thought maybe he was sleeping. So I did a tape with him. It's Eli Nala. The tape calls Let's Make a Tape, Bro. So it's just a mixture of he's more lyrical, and then I'm more like GE guy, vibey, coming with the hooks that are catchy and stuff like that. So actually, when we did that, nobody believed that we can actually come up with something like that. So anybody they can go and check that out. Yeah. Then I have another another mixtape too, which called NoGhost. That's NoGhost 1 actually. So the mixtape that I'm dropping soon is gonna be called NoGhost 2. And then I'm actually working on the album, but it's just like it's something that I'm working on it behind the scenes, because I'm just like collecting beats, recording songs, making sure that I'm putting an album that actually defines me as a person, and that actually defines me as a person and the person that can relate to whatever I'm gonna deliver. So I'm working on that. I'm thinking hopefully by December I can drop that album. Because I'm doing it independently. Everything it's come from me by myself. So I need to have budgets for beats, have budgets for features, have budget for that. But the most important part is that I don't pay any producers or stuff, because I do everything myself. I don't pay studio time. So that's all. I need to also grow. Yeah, so I need to grow my studio also. I need to buy some couple of things and make it be the picture that I always have on the wall, to say one day my studio will be like that. So so I got those couple of things that I'm actually working on. And then I don't know, because I don't think we have so much time, but the other thing is I would like to see I would like to see our fellow African American get more clearance about Africa.
Particularly what are two of the things that you
one thing, when they say they're visiting Africa, they must actually specify where. Because Africa is a continent. It's a big continent. And then in that continent, we have countries. So
54 countries?
55
we have a lot, man. Yeah, I think it's 55. But I'm in South Africa. So there's South Africa, there's Ghana, there's Lesotho. Lesotho is also a country, but it's in South Africa. Just imagine that. We have a country in our country.
Yeah. That's very
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, no problem.
So I'm planning a trip. I'm retiring from the Army, 20 years. I'm planning a trip. I have no idea where I want to go in Africa. What's a place that you recommend me to go to break my, to put my big toe into the water, say I've been here, and I've, had a good experience and that type of stuff?
I will say, okay, it's my country, obviously.
Yep.
You can come to South Africa. When you're in South Africa, you must also visit Durban. Durban, we have a whole lot of information about our culture, the Zulu culture mostly, because we are the dominating tribe in South Africa. Our language is Zulu, is the second language in the country.
Okay.
We have English, because we had Afrikaans before, then they banned it. After we came out of apartheid, then Afrikaans, they said, no, we don't deal with that. So we have English and Zulu. Zulu is the second language in the country. So I will say you can visit that, then you can go and check Mozambique. You can go and check Ghana. You can go and check. It's just that these other countries, there's these things that happening that I don't think right now. There's a lot that's happening. It's the same as Nigeria. I just saw today on Twitter, they said the Nigerian government is actually banning Twitter in Nigeria.
Wow.
Yeah,
Why?
you can check it out.
That's very interesting.
I think they said Twitter is sending a wrong information to the world.
Fascinating.
Because I think they had that hashtag that was going around. It was saying and something, but it was about them.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there was like a lot of videos that they were circulating on Twitter and stuff like that, which they were saying some of the videos they were not taking from Nigeria, they were taking somewhere else, and then people they twisted the narrative and they throw it to say, okay, that's happened in Nigeria. So I just I saw this morning, and it's trending. You can just look it up on Twitter. It is trending. The government is banning the Twitter on in their country. So if you are a citizen there, as soon as you land to Nigeria, your Twitter is not going to work.
But what's fascinating to me about all that is I appreciate whenever any African country flexes its muscle against these like giant forces, and like when you're talking about big tech, they have a lot of power and influence, and they're able to do just the same things that many of the colonizers did before, because they have the same resources now. They have the money, they have blah blah blah. So I appreciate when an African country flexes its muscle, exercises its will, and its right to determine chart its own future, especially when it's a situation where I don't know the full story. You know, obviously I'm just hearing about it, but in context, it makes me think about the importance of being able to do that as an African country and not always bend or just do what companies or corporations from the West want you to do.
Yes. Yeah. So to me, they actually did great with that, because to me, I've seen Twitter as a tool that can build and a tool that can destroy at the same time.
Good point.
It can destroy without facts.
Absolutely.
You understand? And then when the real story or facts comes out after, you can't do the damage that already been done.
That's right.
So with them, yeah. So to answer that question, my bro, I will say you can visit Africa, but you must actually specify where in Africa you're coming to. That's all I'm saying. If you're in South Africa, you will say, hey, I visited South Africa. They this and this and this. I went to Cape Town. I went to Durban. I went to Joburg. I went to Mozambique. I went to Lesotho. I went to but not just like I went to Africa.
But you know what's funny?
Because we're going to ask you where in Africa.
I can relate to this completely. You know, when somebody got Jamaica, you say, which part of Jamaica I go? But you know what's funny is that today, when I told my wife that I was going to have you as a guest on the program and a little bit about your background, CB, she mentioned that some people, they just want to go to Africa. Like some people in their mind, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they go. They have a certain connection, or they want to be anywhere on the continent. They just want to be, they just want to go to Africa. There's this connection to the continent that has nothing to do with where in particular. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these borders are manufactured, aren't they? Aren't they artificial borders created by others?
I mean, as I'm telling you right now, some people will say, I'm going to Africa, as if you're gonna get there, you will find one language. You understand? There's so many languages. If I go to Ghana, I'm telling you right now, I won't understand what they're saying. If I go to Nigeria, their language, I won't understand what they're saying. If you go to South Africa, we got 9 official languages. Right. So I'm in KZN, in Durban. So in Durban, we talk isiZulu. I'm a Zulu person. So if I go to Joburg is a whole lot of mixture of people. You find Sotho there, you find Pedi, you find vendors, you find all that there. You find people who are speaking Afrikaans, you find people who are speaking English. So you need to actually understand these 9 official languages we have in South Africa only.
To me, that's great for the brain. But I can't imagine. I think if you grow up, you would adjust. I think if you grow up in that culture, you would adjust. But
I also went to Yeah, I also went to in other provinces. I was in Free State. I stayed there for about 3 or 4 years. I also learned their language, but the problem was for me to speak back. Just to talk back. I could listen. I could hear what they say, but I couldn't talk back because I wasn't fluently on their language. So I had to speak in English for them to understand me.
Oh,
because some of them they didn't understand Zulu at all.
Wow.
They only know Sotho and they only know Afrikaans. Because Sotho and Afrikaans, I believe it's close. So those are the languages they know. So when you go there, you actually have to use English as the language to communicate.
Okay. It's a very powerful thing.
In all these in these provinces, if you don't know the language that they speak there, you actually have to speak English.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's the same if I go to Nigeria, I don't know their language. I need to speak English. If I go to Ghana, I don't know their language. I need to speak English. Go to Mozambique, they got their language. I think it's Portuguese. They were colonized by Portuguese. Because we got like different colonizers. That's why we have those different languages in the continent. Because we were not all colonized by one person, one country or whatever. Because I think if you look at the French squad, there's a lot of Africans there.
Wow.
And they like Africans. Like if you look at their squad, it's more Africans. So I think those guys, they were taken from Africa today. But if they are definitely sure that they have their roots in Africa, but in the country where it was colonized by French.
Okay.
So in a country where when you go there, they speaking French.
Right. That
they're not speaking Zulu, they're not speaking Pedi, they're not speaking Sotho, they're not speaking all the South African languages. So I think that's where we need to get more education about to our fellow American brothers who are saying they come into Africa.
That's very powerful. I think again, this platform and what you're doing now by helping us to understand is really doing the work. Those who are going to listen to the podcast are going to be able to benefit from that. Indeed, man, it's quite a profound thing to think about the real deep, long-lasting ramifications of racism, and language is one of the most weaponized tools, I think, in the effort to control people. You control their language. English is a dominant language because those are the individuals who exercise the most violence against the mass of people on the planet. I could talk about this with you guys like for a while, but sadly we don't have we got like a couple minutes left in the program. So what I want to do is ask maybe a couple more questions. Let me see if we have time for. Yeah, it's literally going to shut me off in about 1 minute on my end. But I want to see if we can get another question in or a couple more questions as the time wraps up and announce a winner. So I'm going to have you, CB, I'm going to have you select the category for me real quick. And I'm going to put the timer on. So at the end of the timer, I want to answer from you guys. Little pressure.
No pressure.
All right, no problem.
All right, so the categories were IG Poet, the Stuff Folder, Word Wiz, Rhythm and Poetry, Finish Line.
Rhythm and Poetry.
Okay, let's get right on over there. If it will load for me. There we go. Brain cells are lit. Ideas start to hit. Next, the formation of words that fit. At the table, I sit. Making it legit. Is this from a rap song or a poem?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
I will say
4.
I think it's a poem.
1.
Okay, we've got poem from CB. And what did you say, Kerry?
Music.
My apologies. The conversation gets interrupted during the live stream, which ends, and we had to restart the live stream, which started with me and NoGhost before Kerry rejoins the conversation. Sorry for the inconvenience, folks. We'll pick up right there.
CB?
Yeah, how's it, man? I'm back on.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
So just gonna be like maybe a few more minutes to wrap it up. We're at the end anyway.
No,
I want to get Kerry back on the line and we'll start.
Okay.
So here's what I wanted to ask you though. I wanted to ask you a question about the term referring to yourself as either African or Black. Sometimes it's controversial here in the States. What's it like when it comes to identity politics? What's it like in South Africa?
In South Africa.
Yeah.
Okay. In South Africa, we got Black Africans. That's what they classify us as, South Africans.
Okay.
And then we got Indians. And then we got colored.
Huh.
We got white.
Huh.
Yeah, there's those are the boxes that you need to tick when you go to apply for something. You need to tick you're Black African.
Yeah.
It's either you white or you colored or you Indian. So those are the people that exist here in South Africa. So Indians, they actually from India. So we understand that they came in here.
What would someone from Asia, China particularly, China or the Sino region, Japan, what would they find themselves ticking? What box?
I think they fall under white people.
White? Oh, okay.
I think they fall under white people because I haven't seen any Asian person that feels where it's like Indian or colored or whatever, but they fall under whites. Even the Muslim people, I think they also fall under whites because they don't have that box for them. So then a person from Nigeria, Mozambique, or Ghana, if they here in South Africa, they fall under Black South African, but they / foreigner. Because you're not from here.
Right.
So we go / foreigner. And then the colored people is the mixture of a black and a white.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know that side. Because you know Trevor Noah?
Yes.
Trevor Noah, we call him, this side we call him colored. He's not black, he's not white, he's colored.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Yeah, so we got those people. So most of them, they from they base in Cape Town. And then we have small some of them in KZN, we got some of them in Joburg, so they're all over, but where you actually gonna find most of them, they're in Cape Town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm learning a lot. It's super fascinating to me to understand this, but I don't think you answered the question. You gave me good info here, CB. But that question about the way Africans in South Africa, for example, might see themselves when it comes to the term. So I know the census or the document, the government document might have these particular categories for you to put yourself in. But when you're just talking, like having conversation and you're using the word referring to yourself as African versus these are black people, who was involved in the incident, some black man, black woman, what is that view like of the use of the term to call it refer to yourself as a black person versus I'm an African?
I'm an African. Okay, because the thing is, we need to start. We need to break it down. You're an African, but in Africa, what are you? I'm a South African. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Ghanaian. You understand?
Yeah.
You are an African, but you actually belong to a certain country.
Right.
So I'm an African, but from South Africa.
Okay.
From South Africa, I'm a Zulu.
Okay. So
You understand?
I do.
Yeah.
Question for you then. What is the thought then about Americans or people outside of Africa who may not be from any of those countries in Africa when they refer to themselves as Africans or Black? Does it make a difference in what you think or in what South Africans think or Africans think? Just their perception in terms of the use of that term when they're hearing it. I'm curious.
I think the fact is you Black like you actually an African.
Okay.
If you Black, you an African, regardless of which country you're from.
Okay.
So an African American, we accept you. You are our brother. You belong to us, in fact. You actually need to go and sing for your ancestors and find where are your ancestors from.
Yeah.
You understand? You can be in Jamaica, you also an African. If you Black, you in Brazil, you also an African because you have those African origins. You have those genes in you which they actually point you back to Africa. Because I believe more, all of us, some people that have followed their stories and did some research about their ancestors and stuff like that. They found that they from here in Africa.
Okay.
So a lot of people, as long as, to me, if you are Black, you're an African.
Okay.
But then the thing is, now when you come to Africa, you need to identify which country you're from.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. But you are an African. To me, you are an African. You are my brother. You belong in Africa. But then we'll need to find out where in Africa you belong.
Indeed.
Because we got Akon. Akon is day in the States. We got Davido. Davido is there in the States, but he's from Nigeria. We got Wizkid. We got Burna Boy. You know, those guys which are there in Africa. This also comes down to music. Because I've heard a lot of people, they were talking about I understand the African beats that's popping right now in the States. Those African beats, it's actually, it's in South Africa we're not in deep into it.
Okay.
You understand? Because here in South Africa we got our own genres that we worship, our own genres that we know that these are coming from South Africa.
Yeah.
We got. If you are in South Africa, they wanna ask you, if you're asking a South African what genre that's popping right now here, we're gonna tell you I'm a piano.
Okay.
We're gonna tell you I'm a piano because that's what's popping. That's ours. I see our African countries they also adopting to our style. But we have our original style, which is Amapiano. It started here in South Africa. We have that. And then we have Kwaito, which is started here in South Africa, which is our original. We have Deben Kom, which I think it was also featured on the Lion Kings with Beyonce and them. They took some of the songs from here, the samples from here, even the dances too from here in South Africa. So I mean it's a it's a whole lot of information that I believe it should be out there for people to understand exactly on what's going on in our continent.
Indeed.
You know, rather than to say, hey, Afrobeat is doing crazy in Africa and stuff like that, and then you're thinking that you're gonna go into South Africa, you're gonna find Afrobeat popping. No, you're gonna find Amapiano popping. It's here, but it's local music that we have. That's our local that we know. If you play this here, the whole club is gonna be on fire. If you play a piano song, everybody's gonna go crazy. If you play a calm song, everybody's gonna go crazy. If you play a certain house song, everybody's gonna get crazy. But there's a South African music that we say it's originally from here in South Africa. Then other African countries too, they have their own type of music that some of us we don't vibe to it. Not that we don't like it. It's not dominating in our country, but it's dominating in their country. And two, they singing it in their language that we don't understand.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I don't know, I don't know if you what I'm saying now it will make sense to some people.
It makes sense to me. You know, I just see that there's a lot of difference in the midst of all this creativity. And each culture gets, has an opportunity to kind of express themselves.
Exactly, that's true.
And show appreciation for their differences. I think that's always been like a really good thing about Africans, is that we are diverse from the tip of the south all the way to the tip of the north. And sometimes the idea is that there's this uniformed either sound or, as you say, language, when there's this misconception of Africa and not understanding the real diversity that is there. I think Kerry's back online.
But at the end of the day, we are all Africans. What I like about it is that all genres, all type of music that are coming out of any continent in Africa, we actually able to adapt to it. We even do samples from their music. You know what I'm saying? And we even get features from their music. We actually working together as a continent. It's not like just because y'all are from that country, we don't understand the language, your music is kind of different, your rhythm is this and that, so we can't vibe with you. As soon as we hear that vibe, that rhythm is ours, because we're African, we jump into it. I'm going to jump in my own language. I'll explain to you later what I meant. You understand? So that's how it is. And that's how I was getting all my features, even from overseas. Speaking of Taye, he's one of the guys which I started rocking with him way back. And he even comes here. When he comes to South Africa, he makes sure that he's gonna pull up on me. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna take it to, we're gonna go some places, see other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Record, take videos, shoot some couple of videos and stuff like that. Because I actually have a song with him that we planning if he comes down. The Sun, yes, the Sun. So we're planning to shoot a video. I'm just waiting on him to come down here and to have his trips here in Africa. Then, because I heard this is coming, then he will pop in some of the countries, and then he will end up here in South Africa. Then he'll pop into to me in Durban. Then we'll shoot that video and stuff.
Yeah, man. And please let me know, when that should happen so I can promote it on the podcast here and let folks know to check it out. And it's funny you mentioned Taye. You want to check him out, Kerry. Taye, who was the guest on the last episode. He's actually how I met CB here. And he does trips to Africa, different countries, at different times, I think, during the year, where he takes either schools or families and groups, and it's just educational trips and things like that. You can definitely
and he's more educated. Yeah, and he's more educated because I think, about Africa, because as far as I remember, he's been here he's been coming here in and out every year, and he's going to different countries too. So he actually knows when is in South Africa. He knows in Joburg. There's this and this is what happened in Joburg, and then he goes to Cape Town. He sees this is how they live. He also got guys there and stuff like that, and then he comes to KZN. He meets up with me. We go there, and I show him places and stuff like that. So he actually knows the diversity of our cultures as Africans and stuff. So I appreciate that guy big time.
No doubt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he became a brother through music.
Okay.
Music will do that, man. Music will do that.
Big time.
I wanted to ask you the demographic of people, because we talked a little bit about Lesotho, is it? Within South Africa?
Yeah, Lesotho. Yeah, it's in South Africa, but it's just their own country.
What's the demographic? Is that white people mostly there? What's the demographic of people there?
No, it's black people mostly.
Okay.
In Lesotho. Okay. Yeah, it's black people, but it's, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how is that country in our country. I don't understand, because that place, if you go there right now, it's snowing. But
this
in Devon,
it's snowing.
You can Google now Lesotho. You will see the pictures. There's recent pictures. Yes, there's recent pictures. It snows there.
Yes, talk to me about this, because I did not know that there's snow in Africa. That's not at the top of a mountain, somewhere that's up really high where the temperatures are lower. But I was really, really surprised to see that there was snow. So I didn't know this.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand the place, how it designed and why it was there.
Okay.
because that's the only, because I went to Free State. I stayed in Free State. That was the first time I experienced snow.
Yeah.
In Free State, because Free State, I think, is close to Lesotho. So, but in Lesotho, it's actually snowing.
Wow, and it's snowing now.
Now. I saw recent pictures during this week where we had a cold weather the whole week. It was snowing.
Very interesting.
And in Durban, we don't have snow. I won't lie to you. In Durban, it's summertime. In winter, it's the same. It's just like Miami. I don't know if Miami they have snow, but here in Durban, we don't have snow. We have this cold weather, but it's not cold. But it's just I don't know. It's just like a warm place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's different, because Cape Town is cold. Cape Town is cold.
Mostly around.
As soon as you go out of KwaZulu-Natal, Durban, our province, as soon as you go out there, you actually feel the winter. In winter.
Wow.
But Cape Town is near the water as well, so.
We near the sea, and that's the funny part. We next to the sea. We just on the coast. They just up there. There's no sea in Joburg. There's no sea in Lesotho. It's just in the middle of the country. But the way it's so cold, I don't understand. And it snows there in Lesotho. They need to explain to us how the hell they're getting the snow there. We don't have the snow.
It could be weather machines. It could be HARP. Things like this exist. That's just me.
I did hear that. I heard of that before too.
Yeah, some people do that. Well, from my understanding, it's just a matter of where you locate the rods that ionize the atmosphere above the location. Yeah. So if they're in anywhere that can be fenced off, or an area that's secluded, either a militarized base, something like that, where you have little to no access to be able to get to these kinds of high-end technologies, then you could have something like that exists. But they've been doing... Weather manipulation is something old. It's something old. So for me personally, when I see things that seem very out of the strange like this.
Yeah.
And I assume this is strange. I don't live there, so I don't know if this is normal. We're understanding now that this may not be so normal, listening to you. But it makes me think about what is possible. And I know that those kinds of things are possible. And
to tell you something, it's also like even their culture is way different. If you can Google it, you can see the way they dress. They riding horses. They wearing blankets.
In Lesotho?
Even they are in Lesotho, yeah. They wearing blankets. They got those blankets all I don't know in summer how they do it, but if you look at Lesotho, the Sotho culture, they wear those blankets, and then they have those triangle heads.
Okay.
So their culture is it's just different from us. So
It's
I
more
guess that's why it's snowing there, because they always have their blankets on. I think that's why it's snowing there, because it's cold.
Stay warm. That would make sense. So gentlemen, I asked you to come back on because we got interrupted there with the last one.
Problem.
So we're gonna just pick up where we left off. With that last question, I think Kerry got that one. That was,
what was it?
Rhythm and poetry. Yeah, and was the category. And I think it was a rap song. Let me go back to it. Yeah, take my hand, we'll pick a plantation. Oh yeah, brain cells are lit. Ideas start to hit. Next, the formation of words that fit. At the table I sit, making it legit. So he was right. This is a rap song, and it's from Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Nah, I can't argue with it. I will congratulate my bro. It's cool. You won.
Yeah. Congratulations, Kerry.
Congratulations, Kerry, man.
And thanks to you as well, CB. Well played, man. Great competitor.
No, it was definitely these was definitely some interesting questions. So I definitely appreciate that. So it was definitely interesting.
It was a pleasure, man. It was a pleasure having you guys on. And this show is a mix. It's gonna be a mix of stuff, a mix of things that you will have to guess about. But it was a close game in the beginning, and then Kerry was like, And
was there.
But it was exciting.
But I'm going to try to incorporate this sport into one of my poems here in the future. I'll tag you on that, since I didn't know that. That was a good word to learn. And I'm definitely trying to incorporate that.
Yeah, man. One of the things about this platform is about learning and having fun while we celebrate our fellow artists, our brothers and sisters across the world. This was a true blast, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, check out the Spilled Ink section of the Ink magazine, where you will find Kerry Kinlaw's poetry in the, I believe, July or August issue of the magazine. We have some new sponsors that are going to be coming on board. You can expect some changes to the runner-up prize for the next episode, which will be a feature on a website from our sponsor, Sunny's Way Images. But tonight, CB will be getting the prize from CompuFix Solutions. It's a $60 value remote online support for diagnostics and computer repair. It's a great it's a great value. Especially a man like you, you're producing, you're writing. I'm sure you use your computer to make your dreams a reality. So you want to make sure your systems are up and running properly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in IT services, you can always contact CompuFix Solutions. Once again, both our guests did their thing tonight. And for those of you who listened, wherever you listen from, again, thank you for spending time with us. You can email the PodPoetslounge at gmail.com for bookings and sponsorships. And you can always vibe with us live right here. So stay tuned for our next show, episode number 32. where we are going to be doing our thing. As always, it gets hot in here. Thanks to our special guest, Kerry Kinlaw, the masked poet, and NoGhost, the hip-hop artist, songwriter, producer, and dare I say philosopher and historian. As far as I'm concerned, just building with this incredible brother, just doing his thing. Thank you guys. Thank you both for blessing the space. It was a true pleasure having you on the show, evidenced by the smile on my face. Stay safe, stay positive, and take good care. Peace.
And wear your mask. Wear your mask. Are you still wearing mask there, side?
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.
Love you, brother. Take care. All right.
Love you too, man.
Congratulations to episode 32's winner, creative artist, poet, and published author, the masked poet, Kerry Kinlaw. And for the first time, all the way from South Africa, the international recording artist, NoGhost. An awesome conversation, amazing guests, and good vibes. Remember to listen on your favorite app and tune in on June 19th for more fun celebrating these poets, 7 to 9 Eastern Time. And when art bridges, we love it, because our latest sponsor is a company that is founded on creativity, talent, resourcefulness, enthusiasm, and fun. Go check out the portfolio at sonnieswayimages.com. That's SONNIES wayimages.com. Published portrait and fashion photographer. Book your next photo session for a special event or a wedding, headshots, whatever you need. Your image is their focus. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook under Sonny's Way Images. And be sure to look out for Spilled Ink's showcase featuring the masked poet. And remember to follow the Ink magazine and check out the Words I Never Said podcast every Wednesday, hosted by God's Ink. Yeah, man. Each one, teach one, and reach one. And this is the thing reach. Thank you so much for listening. Peace.